Okay, we're going to get started. Welcome to seminar 1, and I'm going to share the screen here. And again, if you want to grab food as we go, that's absolutely fine. And again, we're going to, sounds like we're going to make the switch here from, we're going to do the off Wednesdays, and I'll get the schedule up for you on that. So, so seminar 1, we're going to talk about agent success planning, block calendaring, and farming. So there's gonna be some things we're gonna do in here, have you work on and get going on that, because they're important things to your plan. And this would have been better if I remembered to have you guys, the email that came out for your activities, had you fill it out during the meeting, because I intended to do that and I forgot to do that. So we're gonna start doing that during the meeting so you can fill that out, and we'll make sure we get that done. So, so we'll talk about session 1. Today we're going to talk about business planning, time blocking, and success activities. And you've seen the board down the hallway for the success activities. And I got to go through and look at that and determine who our first quarter winners are. But again, for those of you who are new agents, also, your hire date will be where the success activities will begin to be recorded from. So what we'll do is that there's a total number that you can get outside of closings, and we'll divide that. We'll divide that number by a daily number, and then so your number will be a different number than the total. So you'll have a fair, even chance to make the leaderboard at the end of the year from your hire date on that. So. So we'll go over some of that. So we're going to take some time to go through this. We want to try and go through quickly, but also make sure we cover things there. Again, I'm giving you kind of an overview thumbnail of things, but we'll take time with your mentor or with me or with Maggie to go over things more thoroughly, so you get understanding, because these are kind of the core things that we want to get you disciplined on, working on right now, so that you're effective with your business going forward. So there is a business plan, your success business plan that you can do within My Weichert. And Brianna, have you done yours yet? You did. Okay. Yeah. You just came in. Yeah. I want to say Judy, no, what's right. So Julie, have you done yours yet?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, okay. So let me show you how you find them, and let me get online. And you're going to go to my Weichert, and I'm going to do a new share, just make sure that people can see that online. So you're going to go into My Weichert.
And I can't get into that, right?
You can't get in that, but at least you'll know kind of how to find it. You're going to go down to the Weichert tools. You are going to go to, make sure I'm doing this correctly. You're going to go down to Weichert University. You will click on Weichert University. And here's kind of the mastery kits. There's the buyer mastery, the listing mastery, open house kit, prospecting, client follow-up, business plan. The David Knox videos are here, and Weichert.com rental network, which is under construction right now. So you're going to go to the business planning kit, and you're going to click on business planning. And then, oops, actually I lied. Take you back. You're going to go through, come on. Business planning kit, just go to the do it now is the easiest way to do it, because I forget you have, and you're going to go to The planning day, now you're gonna go to, oh gosh, yeah, my setup is different than yours. This one? Okay. There you go. So it scrolls down. So I've got this other stuff that you don't go to the automated. So I clicked on the little arrow thing here. So if you see here, I'm clicking the arrow. Again, I've got things that you don't. So it'll be look a little different on yours. Is either being planning day or it's going to be the automated business planning tool. It may say that there, but you're going to get to the automated business planning tool. You're going to click on it. Yeah. It's a blue one, yeah. And again, I've done my plan already. Yeah. So it'll go through there. What it's going to do is it's going to give you a series of questions. You know, are you willing to do this? So it's going to give you 4 options in each of those areas. You're going to click on, yeah, I'm willing to do that. Read what the descriptions are. I'm willing to do that. You'll do all of them. After you've answered all of those questions, at the end, it'll say, hey, based on your responses, you can expect your income. If you truly do those things, you can expect your income to be in this range right here. If you look at it and say $84, that's not high enough. You can go back and redo it and change your answers on there of what you're willing to do. Once you've done all of that, then you're happy with the range. Then what you can do is you can do 2 things. One, you can print out your plan. And when you've completed your plan, it sends me a copy of your business plan. So I get that too, and I'll sit down with each of you and review your business plan that you came up with. The other thing that you can do is you can have it integrate onto your calendar. It'll put it onto your calendar for you. So it'll put top block timing into your calendar. Brianna.
Yeah, with that, I did see that I just would obviously need to edit the times. There's a lot of like 9 p.m.s and 30.
Yeah. So let me show you. So on my calendar here. So let me get to next week. So I call. So there's one of the ones that it puts on there. It's having me do a calling session, calling clients and that during that time. Well, I also have calls to recruit prospects. So if that doesn't work for me, I'm just going to go and I'm going to change the day or the time. You can change the day on it. You can change the time on it. And so you can change that around to work. So if it's times that don't work, what I would say is Sunday night, go through your whole week. Look at your calendar, look at what things that are in there, and then arrange those things to times and dates that you'll actually do them. Here's where the problem comes in. You do the business plan, you populate your calendar, and it's saying, hey, make calls here. If you just say, you see that on your calendar and you blow right through that and you just ignore it, it's not doing you any good. The whole idea behind this is to put it on your calendar to do block scheduling for things. So you take time to do those activities and it's on your calendar. If it doesn't work, so I was gone Monday and Tuesday. So I had a couple of things that were on there. So I changed the days. I rearranged that, changed it to a different day, a different time. So if it's doing that, then put it to a time where it'll work for you and then do those activities, because it doesn't do any good to build a business plan and say you're going to commit to the activities and put it in your calendar. It does everything for you except for like make phone calls or whatever the issues are, and you don't do them. And then you say, well, this doesn't work. Well, maybe it's you that's not working. It's just a thought, not to be, but I do the same thing. I blow through a lot of those things, and then I wonder why things are slow at a time, because I'm ignoring the activities that I know that I should be doing for those. So if you've not done your business plan, go in and do that business plan and get that up to date. Now, keep in mind that the business plan is our activities that we hold you accountable to. Not all the activities in the business plan are that we have you doing are in the business plan. So we've modified, we've added some things in because we feel if you can do some of those things, the squeeze page, landing page, adding to your database, home of the week, some of those sort of things, we know if you do those things, you're getting more engagement and getting more involvement with those different areas. So we want you to make sure that you're doing those. Hang on, I want to make sure the recording's going. So I'm going to do new share. And so we want to make sure you're doing that. Business planning is only good if you commit to the activities of the business plan. So for the success activities that we're having you're due. So every week there's the business plan that comes out. So you should be getting an email saying, hey, it's time to record your success activities. You got one that I've changed when those are going out. I'm trying to do them during the meeting times we meet, so that, and I forgot to do it today, and we will then have everybody just take 5 minutes and everybody fill it out, open that email up, fill it out. That way you're recording your time. So one of the things that people, especially agents or salespeople, tend to do, they tend to think that they are doing all this stuff, but they're not actually keeping a pad of paper or a notebook next to them recording what they're actually doing. So they go through and they make, 10 phone calls, and 4 of those were tough phone calls and, emotionally draining and you got rejected and shut down. And then you kind of played in your calendar a little bit, and then you checked for kitties on Facebook, and you did this, and then you came back and you say, well, no one's answering their phone, no one's buying, no one's doing anything. And you think you've made about 25 phone calls. You made 10. And so if you're not actually writing those things down that you're doing, how many emails did you send out? When you send out a bulk email for your home of the week, look at the little number on there that it'll say estimate how many being sent out, and record that number down when that email goes out. So that you actually know how many contacts you're making. You actually know how many phone calls you're making. You actually know what you're doing. And we're going to be talking about, especially seminar 2, we're going to talk about a lot of this there, but I really want to emphasize that is that we think we're doing a lot and we're really not. For me, sometimes there'll be some things that I want to do on Facebook and post there, and I go in there and there's that little video one there, and I click on that and it starts to show these videos of different things. And 40 minutes later, it's like, oh, I can't, So I started out to work and then I got distracted. So stay focused. So business plan for success, the 3 blocks: your business plan in block calendar, and your success activities. So if you put together a business plan, block calendar, we're going to talk about that later on, and then record your success activities and do the success activities, because those will begin to make a difference in your business as you go through. So the things we have you do is you go in, put your name in, and then you'll oops, there we go. Then how many days this week did you log onto my Weichert and do at least one crucial activity? So my goal is for us to give you 100% on that of, in there every day, at least 5 days a week on your my Weichert, logging in and doing some sort of activity, whether that be responding to people who are feeding into your dashboard, whether that be making phone calls, whether that be putting new leads in, something that you're doing that you're interacting with your. I am amazed at every day all the things that are coming into your dashboard and people respond on things. And that's where we've got to get good at interacting and moving those people towards business. And again, there's ways of doing that. We're going to be talking about that as we go. So you're recording how many days? This is a simple, easy thing to go on 7 days a week. If you got it on your phone, you can go on it and just pull up my Weichert, interact with it, text a couple of people that have gone on your thing. Hey, thanks for looking back at the home of my site. Anything I can help you with right now, and just things like that are very important to do. Then how many database additions did you add into your My Weichert database? 0, 100, 1 to 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 20, and 20 plus. Julie, how many How many do you have in your database now?
140.
Okay. So 140 in 2 months?
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Yeah. And that was after I eliminated the duplicates.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I'm getting like 1 or 2 leads out of that.
Okay.
140 that may choose to get pre-qualified someday.
okay.
So it's a little discouraging.
It is, but it's a numbers game. So you keep working those, you keep working in positive ways, you keep sending them good information. And all of a sudden, one day they call you up and they say, hey, I'm ready to go. I had somebody the other day that, I'm all ready to go now. I've talked to the lender, I'm all set to go. Matter of fact, I haven't followed up with him. I need to do that. So he's ready to go. I just have not followed up with him. Let's see. How many real estate outreaches did you make this week? And again, an outreach, how we're defining an outreach is a phone call, a text, an email. Those are all outreaches, a face-to-face, a door knock. This is a people business. If we're not interacting with people on a daily basis, they forget we're in real estate. I mean, they just do, we can talk to them last week, and then this week we see that they, a friend of ours, we see that they, they're also in the houses on the market. And you call up and say, what happened? Oh, are you still in real estate? It's like, yeah, we talked last week, so it,
But did you talk about real estate last week? That's what happens too. Is when I'm doing my calls, I will forget to even drop a little tidbit about like, oh, did you see the house I went up from? Oh yeah, I showed it to my clients.
Yep. You don't want to be obnoxious, but you want to remind them you're in real estate. And even when you call your contacts and that you have just a conversation, or your past clients or whatever, or your friends or family, have a conversation with them, say, hey, just want to remind you, if you know anybody who's looking to do something in real estate, I would love it if you send them my direction. I would really appreciate that. Reminding them that you're, a lot of times you don't get the business because we don't ask for the business. And they think we don't want to help people. I go places. I mean, Monday spent the night at a friend's house, and Tuesday went to whale watching with some friends down in San Jose, and they asked questions about real estate. Yeah, I'm taking a break. I don't want to talk about real estate. However, if I don't talk about real estate, then they think that I don't really do real estate much, and I don't care. So when they want to do something, so they had some questions on real estate, and so I took the time to answer questions, even though that's the last thing I wanted to do when I was trying to get away from real estate. But 10 minutes conversation here, 10 minutes conversation there, and that shows my expertise. It knows my knowledge of the market, what's happening there. They know that I'm engaged and that I'm available for answering questions and working with them. So make sure you're doing real estate outreaches every day. Did you do a property boost? And we'll talk about property boosts in either today or one of the seminars of how to do a property boost. Property boosts are super simple to do. Just depends on how much you want to do. If you want to just test it on a very limited basis, cost-wise, do that. And then the next step is then getting good at doing that. So if you had 140 contacts, okay, let me do some quick numbers here. So clear 140. You've got 2 people working on it. Okay, divided by 2. Oops, 2 divided by 140. So that's a 1%. That's a 1%, a little over 1% success rate if you can turn that in there. So 1% is not a bad number, believe it or not, for success rate with especially cold calling stuff. But as you get going at this, the goal is to get up to 3 to 4 to 5%, which is possible to do that, but it takes some time to build that. And knowing which are the good leads, which ones are to have more follow-up with, how to get the clues of who's interacting more and who's more ready to go, and kind of keeping those ones at the top of this, that pyramid we talked about before. And that's where you'll get good at that. But again, a 3 to 5 success rate, if you're doing that, especially with cold leads, you're knocking it out of the park. And that may sound intimidating, but there's a lot of people out there who are very, very good at taking those and turn that into that. So if you got a 1%, you got 140 people and you got 2 that are good potentials or potentials right now, you're going the right direction. So don't get discouraged about that. Keep encouraged about that. Then you've got, did you publish a new landing page this week? And a landing page, it's a kind of a standalone page that you can put together, put it on Facebook and that, and it's people go to that, and then it eventually squeezes back into your website. But it's kind of a separate landing page. You can do it on a neighborhood. You can do it on a topic. You can do it. I'm actually trying to get information from other agents or from other brokers of what sort of landing pages their people are developing and putting out there that are working and effective. So as I get those, I'll begin to integrate those and show you those things a little more often. Also, then did you do a squeeze page? A squeeze page is simply squeezing the people down into a specific spot on your website. And so I'm doing this. I'm doing this email out. It's not a squeeze page, but I'm doing email out for the Friday Five, and I could do it in the form of a squeeze page. I could put a squeeze page together. That may be a better way to do it than I'm doing it. I could do the squeeze page, put it out there, and it squeezes down to a spot on my website where I add a tab of this week's specials, business specials, and people click on that and it takes them to the website. You want people to come in and interact with your website. Maybe you do a neighborhood report and you squeeze, you put a squeeze page in about, it's a good thing to do for your farm, and put it, send it to people in a perimeter around your farm and squeeze people down into your page so they're interacting with the website. And again, we'll talk about that more, but more in the future and how to do that more effectively. Did you publish an email, a home of the week, to at least 10 people this week? Again, if you do a home of the week, send out your whole database, and you've done more than that. The best right now that is doing that is Linda. So if you want to understand how to do that and get some formats, and I think she'd probably be willing to help you figure out how to do that well. And don't just do ugly home of the week.
Don't call it an ugly home of the week.
Well, how about that one? I can't believe that one sold for that much.
Yeah.
With the ceiling falling down and everything.
Yeah,
538.
but do something where it makes people want to open the email up. If it's just, so try to do it so that they look forward to it coming out and look forward to opening the email up and seeing the home that you're sending or the homes you're sending out. So you want to do some things where it gets people to open the email. Yes. Yeah.
But are you? I'd be like, my only thing is with what if the seller of the home saw that, or somebody knows somebody, like they open it and they're like, that's Claire's house. I'm gonna call Claire. We're like, Claire, your home is the ugly home of the week.
What about fixer of the week? Because,
you could do that.
Yeah, because people kind of like fixtures.
Oh, absolutely.
Super cheap.
Yep. Yep. Fixer of the week. It's another way of doing ugly home of the week. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah.
For Miss Sensitive over here, you could do.
I'm a millennial. I'm a millennial.
Okay. How many broker trainings meetings do you attend? And we've got at least 2 of those in a month. Occasionally we'll have a third one. The trainings are very important. How many doors, 2 steps? We're going to talk about the doors, 2 steps.
Don't we have 4 a month?
We do have 4 a month. Yes, we do. I forgot about that. We have 4 of those. Yes. Sorry, never mind. 2 steps. I need to fix that because I only got to 3. How many 2-step doors, 2-step presentations did you do? And we're going to be starting to push that because as we get past this COVID stuff, I really, really, really want agents doing the 2-step presentation. I think it's very effective. It shows that we're different and we're more thorough than other agents. And it's something that if you get kind of a template done, you can get it put together pretty quickly. But I think here's the thing that people say, what's my home worth? Well, I haven't been in your home for 3 years, or I've never been in your home. And any agent that says that they can tell you what your home is worth, we can give you a ballpark, but I can also give you a better strategy of how, of what it might be worth. And I can tell you if it'd be worth more if you did some things, but I can only do that when I come see it. So if I could come and set an appointment, I'd like to come in. I need about, 20 minutes of your time, just ask some questions, take a couple of pictures of a couple of key rooms, the kitchen and, maybe the backyard or whatever. And then I want to set a second appointment within, either that evening or the next day and come back and show you my marketing plan of how we would do the house and my recommendations. So it's a very effective way of doing it that I think if we can help people to slow down and we can come in and show our expertise, it gives you 2 cracks at the person. I think, and we're going to be talking about how to do that. So that'll be in one of our seminars. How many open house guests did you register? And I'm looking forward to open houses where we can get you guys out there and doing open houses and begin to interact and know how to do that. Because I think you guys have great success once you can get into open houses and be meeting with people, especially neighbors and all of that. We'll talk about some of those strategies on that. Oops. How many training videos, 15 minutes or longer, did you watch this week from my Weichert or other sources? And so those are important things. There's a ton of, I go through the David Knox stuff, and every time I go through them, it's like, well, this is cool. This is great stuff, Yeah. It's like, I should have known that, why don't, so let's talk about, I think this is a click. Yeah. So we're going to talk about block scheduling, and we're going to show you a short video on block scheduling from David Knox, if this works. There we go.
One of the questions that agents ask me is the key to my success. And the truth is, I don't think I do anything that's super special.
Is it up there now? There we go.
I get up every day, I get dressed, I come to the office same time every day. I've got a block scheduled where I'm making my phone calls first thing. I'm blocked 9 to 11 every day, where I'm spending 1 hour calling new leads, spending 1 hour calling cultivating leads. And my rest of the day is spent on appointments. And I've got appointments blocked at 1:30, 3:30, 5:30. And I'm just setting those appointments every day, calling people back, just doing the fundamentals. And I've done it for 15 years now. And it's finally built into a business that sustains itself. And it just takes me coming to work and working hard every day. So morning time block dialogue, I'm calling people and I'm saying, hey, I'm just following up on that conversation we had last week about XYZ Main Street, and just further trying to get them more excited about transacting. So a lot of people I talk to are very early on in the process, and so maybe they're a little excited. My job is just to engage and get them talking, get them thinking, engaging the spouse, and just trying to move the football down the field just a little bit further every day. Time blocking is the key for me. I'm kind of the ADD type where I'll get distracted on something and go work on that for 2-3 hours. If I don't have something, my schedule says, okay, here's exactly what I'm supposed to be working on right now. So whenever I have that in my calendar, I'm supposed to be making phone calls. I've got my call list because I'm using a CRM. I pop in there every day. So here's the people I need to call. And I know these are the times that I'm calling those people so I don't get distracted doing the other things.
Okay. What key principles did you pick up from him?
He's doing the fundamentals every day.
Repetition.
Okay. Repetition, fundamentals every day. What else? Oops. Yeah. What else did you pick up?
Time blocking. Following up.
Time blocking, following up.
And he has structure. Yeah.
What else? There's a key thing in there that he said.
It sustains his own business.
What?
They have sustained his business.
Yeah, that's part of it.
He has built a business.
He's been doing it for 15 years, and he now has a business that sustains itself. Okay. it takes time to build a business that can sustain itself. Every one of us at one point were brand new agents that had to fight through and work those things to get where we had no clients, that we had to develop a client base. We had to get out there and talk to people. We had to do things like open house. We had to do things like floor time. We had to do things, making phone calls. We had to do all the hard work. And I know for new agents, it's easy to come in, or you come in, you feel like, everybody's got all this stuff going. I can't get everybody to answer the phone. We've all been there. We've all gone through that. This market is not any harder than the market it was when Maggie and I got in. When Maggie and I got in, there's all these big heavy hitters who were selling a bazillion things because they threw a sign on the ground, it sold itself, a little bit like right now is. But there's more inventory. And then things crashed. And they had no idea how to do business anymore because they'd forgotten all the basics of doing the business. And so that's where we were really trying to make you be agents that can make it through any market, because the market changes all the time. So
I actually got calls from some of those big hitters to teach them how to do real estate.
yes.
But it led to a lot of referrals, which was good, because they were mostly young.
So let's talk about time blocking. 5 keys to time blocking. What most people do is they do, see all the little, all these little short little things that are going on. Time blocking is really larger blocks of time. Why do you want to do larger blocks of time that are on a specific area, whether it be client, create client proposal, email, social media, those sort of things? Why do you want to do larger blocks of time?
So they call you back.
What?
So they can call you back.
So they can call you back, it's one.
Not all of them are, a lot of them are, if they're working, they'll say, call me during my lunch.
Right. Okay.
I don't have a talk, so they give you a time.
Okay. Why else larger amounts of time for a time block for a certain activity?
Because sometimes one phone call can be 20 minutes long, or you can get 5 phone calls in 20 minutes. It just depends on if you're answering the phone or
Okay.
not, or if they're answering the phone.
Okay. The longer time blocks, an hour, 45 minutes, whatever, it takes time to get into the activity. Then the activity gets rolling. And then every time you get distracted, if you get distracted by something, it takes that time to get back into the activity again. If you can accomplish a whole lot more in a time block, just staying focused on making calls. I'm just making phone calls. I'm making phone calls, and not even inputting, just writing stuff down as you go along. And then when you're done, maybe your time block after making phone calls, your time block is database updating. Then you go through and update your database. Rather than, after every call, then you sit down with your database and you input the information that you got there. And then, I'm in my database, let me do this. And pretty soon you're distracted on that, rather than just going through and making a series of phone calls, jotting notes as you go, and then updating your database afterwards. So it's really easy to get distracted with those time blocking. So what Maggie and I did is, and some of you guys were the result of this, is we're actively working on recruiting and that. And so I would set up, I'd be setting up appointments, and they'd be all over the place. And Maggie and I would forget about them, or, and so we said, okay, every Tuesday and Thursday between 3 and 6 are for appointments for recruiting. And with few exceptions, we do most of our interviews during that time. So it's in her calendar, it's in my calendar. And then we just say, hey, we got 2 today at 3 and 4. We got none on Thursday yet. But we know that's where we're trying to block everything. And then if we don't have any appointments, then we just do recruiting activities during those times. We make use of the time. So why time blocking is so effective? It promotes focused, deep work. When you schedule a chunk of your time to work on a single project or a single problem or a single task, you bring all of your mental resources to bear on one thing rather than spreading your attention across several tasks. The more you single task, the more you build the mental muscles required for deep work easier it is to become and stay focused. So it's like, how many of you are book readers? How many like to read books? Okay. Okay.
Audible. Audible.
There you go,
Yeah.
Audible.
So so
Podcast.
when I read a book, I gotta put my phone away and put it on silent because calls are coming in or texts are coming in, and I do that, and then I lose my focus on that. So when you read it, when you read, it's nice just to read uninterrupted so you can absorb what's going on there. It helps us to stay focused. So promote on single topic things and give a little more time to that. It also helps you knock out shallow work more efficiently. Shallow work is the busy work that's urgent but not important, that help you achieve the long-term goal. There's just some busy work stuff you've got to do. So time blocking is, last week, I built one of the desks. My intentions were to build 4 of the desks. But they take time to do the stupid things. So it's not urgent, but it's important because there's people waiting for desks. So I'm trying to block out. I've actually got somebody coming in and doing them now, so that'll help out a little bit. But it helps us knock those urgent but not important things out. Block out time to respond to emails. But don't, for most of them, you don't have to do it as you go along through the day. Block out a time, one time in the morning, one time in the afternoon to go through and check your emails and respond to them. Because it's really easy with email and text just to get absorbed in all that. But if you batch those shallow tasks all into a dedicated time block to, you have power to move through them more efficiently and protect your other parts of your day for higher impact work. So there's a lot of urgent things, but they're not important, but you got to get them done. So block out, shallow work and just take care of those, those little ticky-tack things you've got to get done. Examples of shallow work: processing the emails in your inbox, responding to colleagues in a team chat, tools like Slack, making phone calls to arrange logistics, attending status update meetings. Versus examples of deep work are drafting a launch plan for a new feature, programming, preparing for an upcoming keynote presentation, researching information on a specific problem. So for me, with these seminars, I've had to block out deep times because I got to really focus on them and put it together and make sure that I've got a concise, very good teachable program going on. Cleaning my emails up and those sort of things are different schedules. So it also makes you aware of how you spend your time. Most people are really bad at time management. Who's really good at time management in here? Okay, there we go. We got 1 out of 8 of us. So there we go. The one who wants the desk right next to yours.
Yes, that one.
So she can be making sure you're.
To put me on a leash.
That's right. Again, we're terrible at estimating how much time tasks take, and we have a tendency to overcommit ourselves on those tasks. Time blocking forces you to confront your priorities and commitments and get intentional about how you spend your time, for your limited time for each of those. As each new commitment, you let your life, physical space in your calendar. As a result, the opportunity of cost of saying yes becomes more concrete and becomes much easier to say no. So it makes you aware of how you spend your time, because we think we're doing a lot because we bounce, and we really haven't done much of anything, but we've been busy all day. The goal is not busyness. The goal is productivity. So time blocking helps you to be productive rather than busy, because I can be busy. But I've had tons of days where, man, I was busy today, and I look back and I didn't really do anything. I was just busy. So we want to make sure you're effective with your time on there. Time blocking is effective because it counteracts perfectionism. Fuzzy timelines are a perfectionist's worst enemy. There are always something to be tweaked and improved. It can be difficult to know when an open-ended project is finished, especially if you're aiming for perfection. Okay. At some point, you need to say it's good enough and move on. And time blocking helps you to do that. You don't need to dial everything to perfection. Time blocking can help you by imposing the time limits in your projects. So I say, I have to have this project done during this time frame here. This is my time to do it. Stay focused on it. And being 90% there is better, and being done and completing that is better than 100% perfection that you're never going to get to. And that's where we kind of get tired, we get wrapped up on that. So don't aim for perfection, aim for getting it completed and ready to go. So it's just an important thing. It helps you follow through on your goals. There's an article, Beyond Good Intentions, prompting people to make plans, improves follow through on important tasks. From following an exercise regimen to scheduling a flu shot, people are more likely to act on their intentions when they wrote down a specific place, date, and time for the activity. Okay. I have on my calendar to exercise every morning at 7:15. Ask me how many times I've done that in the last 2 weeks.
Do you snooze till 7:30?
I just don't get up, and so I need to say exercise in the exercise room at 7:15 and go and do that. It helps to follow through with your goals. But again, if you get really adept at just blowing through your goals, then time blocking is going to do no good for you. You've got to use the time, be specific about what you're doing, how you're doing it, and that. Paradoxically, people frequently underplan when they begin with strong intentions. They mistakenly believe that their strong intentions are enough to propel them to perform desired behaviors, and that belief keeps them from using strategies that could help translate intentions into actions. The takeaway of all this is when you schedule your tasks and goals, you're more likely to follow through. Time blocking forces you to make concrete plans that ensure you're working toward your goals. As William Faulkner quipped, I only write when inspiration strikes. Fortunately, it strikes at 9 every morning. So he puts it on his calendar. So here's the other thing. If you time block, you've got important activities you got to do, and you get somebody that calls up and says, hey, can you show me this house? And you look at your calendar, no, I've got an appointment during that time. If your appointment is that you're making phone calls and they can do a different time, then don't interrupt that time if you can put them in a different time in there. Because what we do is we let everything interrupt that and go over, interrupt our time. So reviewing your business goal. So your task, if you haven't done it, is to put your business, go through and do your business plan and put that together. And then I'll sit down with you, go over that, and I'll go over that with you and your mentor, your business plan. So we are following up on that, and then make sure you're translating those things into the activities board or onto the activity questionnaire that comes out. Block each time on Friday evening or afternoon or Sunday evening. I usually sit down on Sunday night at 9 o'clock. By that point, it's been a long weekend. Sue has crashed by 9 or 9:30 on a Sunday night. And so I sit down with my calendar and go through each of the days and do block scheduling for that coming up week of things that need to be done. And I block schedule property management time. I block schedule broker time. I block schedule recruiting. I block schedule phone calls. I block schedule all these different things. I block schedule, taking care of important but urgent but not important, or important but not urgent things. So schedule on your schedule when you're going to work on your schedule, because if you don't, you won't do it. And then you just get through your week. It's like I didn't accomplish anything. So that's one thing. So we'll take a quick break right here, and then we're going to jump into setting up your database and setting up campaigns. So we'll take some time to talk through that, so that you've got that. So that'll be the end of session 1 in seminar 1. And stop recording on that and stop recording.